y'all, my name is Amy Morgan and I am the marketing coordinator here for Pediatric Dental Associates and Orthodontics. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Halloween and how that can be really scary for your mouth. When it comes to Halloween, we do get a lot of questions from parents about candy, what type of candy, should they be eating the candy, no candy, what should I give out? There are a plethora of questions that come along with this. And we just want to make sure that our top priority is that children have fun and that they stay safe. We know as parents that children taking in a lot of sugar is not always the most fun thing. Of course, it's fun for your kids because they're having a good time, they're eating candy, it's sweet, it tastes good, but also all that sugar intake can hype them up and do a lot of things, just make them go crazy. And so we do have a way that you can kind of eliminate that situation as best as possible and also help with their overall oral health care. So first and foremost, they're gonna come home from a class party or trick-or-treating or whatever Halloween event they may be enjoying, and they're gonna at minimum have a bag of candy. And they're gonna be like, Mom, can I have some candy? And then you're gonna be like, oh gosh, what should I do here? So you just wanna make sure, number one, that you go through all of their candy. And you can kind of categorize it by this might be an item that's good for them to take in their lunch as a quick treat, like a Reese's or something like that. One of those would be great to just pack in their lunch, let them have a sweet treat. The night of Halloween, they're going to want to ingest a lot of it. So just be very mindful of what they're eating. Give them a few pieces that they might be able to ingest that evening and then still be able to make it to bed without being on a sugar rush. But you also want to make sure that after all of these events that you are really on top of their brushing habits, okay? You wanna make sure that not only are they brushing twice a day, you really specifically wanna be working on their flossing during this time. Sticky candies, Skittles, all these things will get all stuck in between their teeth, and the longer they stay there, the longer they can have the ability to be able to dig in and make cavities. So you just want to make sure you're limiting their sugar intake during this time and that they are staying on top of their brushing and flossing routine. Now remember, not all children are going to have to be able to floss. This is only going to be your kids whenever all of their teeth start to touch each other. That is when you need to be flossing. Definitely introduce it as early as you can, but you definitely want to make sure your 5-year-olds and up are starting to definitely make sure that they are learning how to floss properly. And this is a wonderful time to be able to do that. And you actually might even be able to floss out some candy and actually show them the results of flossing. Another question we get is how much candy should we let them have? Now, we always say here at PDA&O that we like for kids to be able to have fun, but all of these things have to come with moderation. So this would be for candy, sodas, anything that involves sugar or even carbohydrates like goldfish or chips. So maybe your neighbors are giving out goldfish and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a great opportunity to be able to give them something that doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. Well, fun fact, goldfish have carbs in them, and that's going to break down into sugars and then start to be able to accumulate bacteria and all these things that can happen in your mouth, which then will start to develop decay in their mouths. So not everything on its surface is exactly great for them to be able to have as a treat, but the biggest thing is to make sure that you are doing this in moderation. And as we say all the time, make sure they are on top of their brushing and flossing routine. This could be a game changer for your kiddos as long as they are brushing and flossing. So your kiddos are gonna come home, at least historically for me, with a very gigantic bag of candy. And they're gonna be like, Mom, can I have this candy? Or maybe you're gonna dump it in a bowl and you're gonna have all these chances over the next, let's say, month for kids to be able to get through their candy. And the biggest thing that we want to stress on that particular subject is the frequency. It's going to be about the frequency in which they ingest that candy. Now, there are some statistics out there where some people suggest like they should eat all the candy in one sitting because then they can brush and floss it all out and it's done and you don't have to worry about it again. And there is something to that, but for us, we just want to really stress again, the frequency in which they are ingesting these sugars, and then as well as keeping it with moderation, and then also making sure that you are staying on top of your brushing and flossing. And then another just added benefit would be to have them start drinking water. water will clean out their mouths as best as it possibly can without having the brush or the floss happening. And so if you are having them eat candy and then they're drinking Mountain Dew or Dr. Pepper on top of that, they are just adding to that. They're not really rinsing anything out. So definitely make sure when they have a day where they've ingested a lot of sugar in general, even if it's not Halloween, but specifically around Halloween, you want to make sure that they are ingesting a lot of water. This will help with them being able to mix that with their saliva and be able to get their mouth as clean as possible during the consumption of all of this candy. Halloween historically is really big on candy and snacks and cupcakes. However, if you would like to try some alternatives, you can definitely look for some sugar-free options. You can look for candies that don't have any sticky items in them, like no gummy treats and no caramel in them. You can definitely find options that would be great to be able to even give out to your trick-or-treaters who are coming to your house. You can do apples. I know that sounds kind of boring, but it's also like parents appreciate that stuff as well, because it is kind of a middle of the road option between the candy and the actual candy and then an apple. It kind of gives a way for the child to be able to ingest something healthy in between. And also, fun fact, apples naturally will clean their teeth, because when you bite into it, as it scrapes across their teeth, it actually can remove plaque. So fun fact, you'd be helping with their teeth. Some other options that we've seen, we've actually had parents who have called up and bought a lot of toothbrushes. Like, we can get some toothbrushes for a little bit of a cheaper amount through our office. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. We hand them out at all of our events, and specifically around Halloween, and really try to push and make sure that kids are brushing and flossing. And then actually the day after Halloween is actually National Brushing Day. So November 1st, supposedly they're gonna get a lot of information about brushing their teeth. So the biggest thing around all of this is let your kids have fun, all things in moderation, and make sure they are brushing and flossing.